guys, we are Team 8. We did our presentation for Chapter 5, Designing Your Visual. My name is Jonathan Rocha. This is Nikhil Jeevaraj, and this is Matt Darby. Let's go ahead and get started. So when designing your title, basically what you want to do is start with identifying your main points. Your title should reinforce the structure of your talk. So what you're going to want to do is have like a table of contents or an agenda slide. Also, towards the end of your presentation, it should also include a summary page to highlight your conclusions. Also, your title should emphasize your main points, focus on each section individually, and should be clear and concise. The title should also draw attention to your supporting points. So if you need extra emphasis, just make sure to provide strong supporting points and make the most of your visual. Also, this next one's pretty obvious. Prepare for a question and answer, but just make sure that that your messages support your response, and you will be able to turn that into a question and answer visual. And then the last one for identifying your main points is make yourself visual. If you need to break away from the slide and connect with the audience on a deeper level, you can do that. Add more emphasis, and maybe change the pace for how you talk and deal with the audience. Also, if I was able to remove these bullet points and just have the title up here to talk about, I could be able to do that. Your title should also clarify your message. So be specific on exactly what you're talking about. Speed up your information on how you share it. If your message contains a message, try to make it easy for them to understand. So what the viewers will see will influence them. The title should also create standalone sense. So make sure that the information is easy to follow, even though the presenter isn't there, feeding you the information exactly. The title will also influence design decisions. So, correlate your title with, appropriate graphs, charts, diagrams, maps, and also colors and graphics will also influence decision based on your title. And then the last one here to clarify your message is adapt to situations. So an example of that is, just to cut the title to grab attention. So an example of that is, a 4-star, or I'm sorry, 4 steps to 4 stars versus following 4 steps to a 4-star rating. Obviously, this one's going to be a lot more attractive and will grab your attention versus this one. And I'm going to pass it over to Nikhil so we can talk about designing
your template, guys. Before you can establish a color scheme, you want to consider your audience. If you're in a formal setting, you want to keep it conservative. Whereas in an informal setting, you can pick different patterns, backgrounds, pictures. Try to avoid using light text on light backgrounds or dark text on dark backgrounds. Be sure to contrast appropriately. You may use 2 different fonts, one for the title and one for the text, but make sure they complement each other. And most importantly, make sure your text is readable, okay? You want to use simple fonts, avoid using all capital letters, and check for line spacing. We recommend not to use Comic Sans. All right. Next slide, please. All right. A solid color is your safest choice. You want to delete placeholders you don't need, and designing a title with bold letters would be recommended, but just don't get used to it and use it all the time. Yeah. So solid background, placeholders, and signing title. For our third topic, we have think visually. Okay? Data-driven charts help people understand your quantitative message. Time series, it shows changes over a period of time. Example, your column and line charts. Correlation charts, they display patterns such as your scatter plot and paired bars. Your concept diagram enables your audience to picture your quantitative ideas. Some diagrams illustrate relationships which show how ideas interact, while other diagrams highlight sequences which shows the steps in the process. Another type of graphic is photographs. So when you do place a photograph in your text, be sure it's appropriate and your audience understands what that means. And finally, make sure your text charts and tables are clear to your audience, to where they're not sitting there confused or dazed about what's going on. Now I'm going to pass it on.
Okay. All right. On this slide, we have a couple examples of appropriate graphics that you would want to use in the presentation. Don't worry, you don't have to write anything down for this slide. On the top left there, we have a table that has colors that indicate what the headers are on the table and the information contained within. So you want to make sure that you differentiate between the sections of your table. On the top right here, we have a concept diagram showing the relationship between strategizing and implementing your presentation and the visuals you have within it. On the bottom left here, we have a picture of the McDonald's sign. If we were doing a presentation on, say, fast food, obesity, burgers, the history of McDonald's, you would know and understand why we would have a picture of the McDonald's sign. And on the bottom right here, we have a pie chart with appropriate color scheme. And unfortunately, I couldn't find one that had a transparent background, but you don't also, when you put a visual up there, make sure you do not have a lot of white space around your chart. This chart shows roughly that you spend half your day sleeping. For college students, I think that only applies during the summer. So, okay. And when you're done designing your titles and building your slides and choosing your graphics, you want to go back and edit everything that you've done. You need to make sure that the structure you have built throughout your entire presentation is clear, concise, and succinct. You do not want to have a bunch of disjointed slides jammed together to make it look like some sort of Picasso-esque mess. You also need to go back and make sure that you check the colors you put in your slides. If you put in colors that clash, and after reviewing it, looking at it, you go, this doesn't look right, you might want to go back and change it. I suggest using the templates that are provided in things like PowerPoint or Google Docs. They tend to have appropriately built color schemes. You can also use graphics to emphasize your points. In this case, I just circled graphics. You can circle things, you can put arrows, you can put explosions, whatever you want. And you also need to go back and clean up all your charts and graphs. So that includes legends, if the data in the chart isn't obvious. That includes extra zeros. That includes grid lines. You don't need grid lines, and like I said on the last slide, make sure you do not have a ton of white space around your charts and graphs. And then when you're done with that, you need to go back, continue going back and editing your slides. You need to make sure that you use consistent phrasing throughout your presentation. That means not putting an entire paragraph of text on one slide, and then maybe on the next slide or the slide after that, putting a bunch of one-word little bullet points that don't get your point across. You need to make sure you document your sources. If they haven't hammered that into here yet, we have a serious problem. And you need to just go back and check for spelling and grammatical errors, and don't rely on spell check. It will not catch everything, because you might have typed in a word that spell check says it's okay, but it makes no grammatical sense in that sentence.
Okay, guys, what exactly is wrong with this slide? Come on, guys, I need some feedback here.
Too much going on.
Serious. What's wrong with the slide?
Come on, what's wrong with it?
Comic
The text is way
font.
dizzying color.
I want to throw it.
Distractions.
I think
Different
I
colored
can
fonts,
understand.
different size fonts. Font blends with the background.
This has nothing to do with
Formatting super
Too much
nice.
white space.
They're cute. I mean,
I like the spinning.
come on.
Was the graphic upside down?
Or did you just spin it on
No,
purpose?
everything's just fun.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything is fun, because it's an example that the animations that we put in there
Yeah.
are distracting, so you don't want to do that. So everything we did in this slide is something you don't want to do in a presentation. That includes put funny cat memes in your presentation, unless it's a presentation about cat memes, then you need to rethink why you're making this presentation. The chart, it has grid lines, there's too much white space, there's a legend that you could probably put over there.
See, that's perfect.
No, it's just the font's really tiny. It's spelled right.
Don't rely on spell check.
Don't rely on spell check too much. All right, and that is our presentation.
Okay, would you guys read the quiz questions real quick?
Yeah.
And then wait a minute to pass out the quizzes, because I have to do, but go ahead and read the questions.
Okay. Question number 1, what are 3 ways to clarify your message? Question 2, what type of typography decisions must be made? Question 3, choose a blank background, modify blank, and designing a blank. Question 4, what are some types of graphics you can use? And question 5, in order to enhance your visual effects by checking the blank, use the blank as a pointer, and eliminate blank junk.